and roughly $100 million to promote. I call that BS. Welcome to Real Anarchy. Today we're gonna be talking about the box office numbers. Man, I'm so happy right now. But let's get into this. Because this is great news and a great start for the DCU. This was reported by Variety. Superman soars to $122 million, third biggest box office opening weekend in 2025. Let's read more. Superman can lift up a collapsing building, Godzilla-sized monster, and now the box office. That's a great start. Anyway, Superman, the newly rebooted comic book adventure, starring David Carnsworth as the Man of Steel, flew to $122 million in its first weekend of release. Those are strong ticket sales, enough to rank as the year's third largest debut after Minecraft the movie, with $162 million, and Lilo and Stitch, $146, which are far more family-friendly films. So just to throw that in there. Turnout was slightly softer than expected at the international box office, with $95 million from 78 markets, bringing a total global tally of $217 million. Box office watchers says they aren't surprised that Superman started stronger in the US compared to overseas because the character, whose motto is truth, justice, and the American way. Imagine if they have doubled down on that, because man, anyway. So it's a coincidental star spangled hero. Yeah, so let me go back down here. Stupid ads, give me 1 second. This is, get out of here. Seriously right now. This is an outstanding domestic opening. If there is any softness here, it's overseas. David A. Gross, who runs the franchise movie consulting firm Superman, has always been identified as an American character, and in some parts of the world, America is currently not enjoying its greatest popularity. And it's true. That is a fair statement. But let's see. So Warner Brothers and DC Studio have a lot at stake, and not just because Superman cost a hefty $225 million to produce, and roughly $100 million to promote. I call that BS. I'm sorry. I listen, let's break this all down a little bit further. The superhero film is the first entry in the relaunched DCU universe, and has the colossal responsibility of igniting the new interconnected comic book universe for the studio. Supergirl featuring Cape Hero, Cousin, and Clayface arriving in 2026, while new take on Wonder Woman is in the works. James Gunn and Peter Safran took over the leadership of DC Studio in 2022 after its last iteration of superheroes movies imploded. That's an understatement, but imploded with the epic losing streak of The Flash, Aquaman and Lost Kingdom, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and Blue Beetle. I thought Blue Beetle performed decently in comparison to its budget. Okay, 3 years ago, I hired James Gunn and Peter Safran. I guess this is David Safran. Yeah, 3 years ago, I hired James Gunn and Peter Safran to reimagine and unify. We'll get back to this unify word in a couple of seconds. To create the creative direction of DC on the one leadership team, David Zaslav said, President and CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, in a statement. The DC vision is clear. The momentum is real. It is. This movie has shifted the tone in conversation as far as DC. I know that I've seen people saying that, yeah, there was from the general audience, there wasn't a real divide or a bad perception of the DCU, but I think there was, and this movie is a testament to that. That and a combination of having a great film, because to me, this is still a great film, even though it doesn't resonate with everybody. But that's just it's a subjective medium, so it's not, no movie's gonna resonate with every single body. You know what I mean? Because like the first Dune and 2, to me, amazing films. And there's still people that do not like it, so it's fine. So Gunn, best known for the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Suicide Squad, directed Superman. The story follows the earnest hero as he proves to the world that he's trying to do good after the villainous Lex Luthor, Nicholas Hoult, executes a plan to turn public opinions against him. In Clark Kent's corner is reporter Lois Lane, Rachel Brosnahan, and his faithful companion Crypto, the Superdog. Critics and audience have embraced the film with an 82% average on Rotten Tomatoes score, A minus grade on Cinema Score, exit polls, which is a great one in comparison to also the Batman, which had the exact same score. So that is a great start for the DCU. The reception is a start in terms of earning back the confidence of DC fans. Yes, there you go. So it also seems. Hold on one second. Let me bring this up. It also seems to be an endorsement on Gunn's lighter and Okay. It also seems to be an endorsement on Gunn's lighter and escapist vision after director Zack Snyder's dark and dour take on the characters of the DC extended universe. With its entry like 2016, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, and 2017, Justice League, attendance of Superman's skew younger with moviegoers under the age of 25, accounting for 20% of the opening weekend crowd. So Gunn choose not to rely on big stars. Storytelling and filmmaking are doing the work here, Girl says. This is the original. That is true. Like the only superstar that is in this film, considering, quote unquote superstar, is Nicholas Hoult. That was the better known actor in this film. Rachel Brosnahan, yes, she's very well known for the amazing. The Marvelous Miss Maisel, and David Carswell was known for Twister, which he had a small role, and he had a couple of series, I think, on Netflix. So this is the original comic book hero story about flawed and reluctant everyman who uses his special powers to fight evil. The arc is reliable and relatable. I guess this is what James Gunn said. Positive word of mouth will be vital for the Superman box office staying in power. That's because big opening weekend are rarely a problem for comic book. That's true. They are front loaded by nature. All these movies are front loaded. I want to see how well it does with a second weekend drop. Hopefully, it's not substantial. I think the Thunderbolts had a 67. I don't think this movie is going to get a 60-something 7% drop. I see it getting like a 40, 50, something like that, because they are definitely, like, comic book movie are notoriously front loaded. It's not like a scenario with the Avatar movie. The Avatar movie was like low, slow burn, and he's rich almost $2 billion anyway. But the ability to keep drawing crowds over the busy summer season will be a true test to the property's cinematic strength. Just look at what happened in recent installments of Disney comparative more popular Marvel Cinematic Universe, like the Ant-Man, and those movies were really bad. Quantumania, 160 million debut in this year's Captain America Brave New World, 100 million debut over the President's Day holiday weekend. Those big budget tempos started strong at the box office, only to completely collapse in subsequent weekends. Meanwhile, Superman last solo outing in 2013, Man of Steel, with Henry Cavill, generated a healthy $160 million in its opening weekend, not adjusted for inflation, but it didn't inspire the kind of lasting enthusiasm that spawned enduring cinematic universe. And this is exactly the difference between those two films. I love Man of Steel, but I think this film is going to have a different feel to it, and that's going to garnish more fan excitement and more in build the foundation for the cinematic universe. So I think this is a great start. And so Superman benefits from IMAX screening, which occurred for $19 million. Damn, $19 million in North America, 15% of its whole, and $30 million globally. IMAX has become a boon for special effects driven films, because those tickets are more expensive, and the larger than life screens offer a distinctly distinctly out of the house experience. So yes, I haven't seen it in IMAX. I'm probably gonna go. I don't know if I'm gonna see it in IMAX because the IMAX near me are very kind of suspect. But anyway, so Superman makes an excellent use of IMAX technology to deliver. That's what I was told. Well, that's what I was seeing on social media for people that seen it on IMAX. That it feels, especially like the fighting scenes and all that stuff. They have the special effects. The third act feels completely different from IMAX to your standard viewership. That is something that I've seen some people say. Superman makes an excellent use of IMAX technology to deliver the scale and spectacle audience expect from this iconic hero, and audiences turn out to IMAX in droves as a result, said the company CEO Rich Gelfond. Superman continues to stellar box office streak for Warner Brothers, following the back-to-back Minecraft Sinners, Final Destination, Bloodlines, and F1, the movie, which I think they are the distributors. Those blockbusters are right after the studio painful string of commercial flops, including Mickey 17. Jesus Christ, yeah, that almost cost Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca their job. I think they are in a good place. I think they're secure after the string of success. And the Alto King and Joker Folia Dukes, that was a horrible mistake. That movie was freaking horrible. That was a horrible way to end it. They should have done one and done, bro. But it is what it is. It happened, so it definitely hurt their the studio. Overall theatrical revenue are 50% of this at the same point of 2024, according to ComScore. However, they are still roughly 24% behind 2019, the last pre-pandemic years. Yeah, pre-pandemic, that's notorious. And I think having that shorter window, it might hurt this box office. I don't think this movie is gonna make $1 billion. I never thought it would make $1 billion. I always thought it was gonna be between 7 and 8. So let's see how it does in the second week as far as numbers goes, how much it drops. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. This summer it feels like a summer of blockbuster films, and it's exciting. The cinema theatrical experience feels alive again. So hopefully it's a great summer for movie theaters. All right, so yeah, so I want to go back to the top. Okay, so here, this 3 years ago, when this is something that David Zaslav said, it just feels like they are doing something that is gonna. I know this is not something that is very popular. I know I do not want it. I know a lot of people don't want it, but this is Hollywood. Hollywood talks moves where the money, it is. 3 years ago, I hired James Gunn and Peter Safran to reimagine and unify the creative direction of DC under one leadership team, right? So unify the creative team, but that creative team means Matt Reeves, James Gunn, and whoever else is working on IP right now. So yes, I know a lot of people do not like the idea of unifying the Batman with this universe. I really don't want that. I want to see Elseworld stuff. I want to see a Black Label type of universe out there. And James Gunn has been adamant about doing that. But at the same time, if the big bosses at the top already had that conversation with James Gunn and Matt Reeves and said, hey, listen, if this movie is at least on par or better than the Batman, we have to figure out how to make this thing work. And this movie so far has performed on par with the Batman. So if this movie even makes remotely as much as the Batman or a little bit more, guess what? I think there's a big possibility that we're gonna see these two universe merge. I'm not saying that it's gonna, and don't take that as gospel. Like if I'm saying that I know something, I don't. I just feel like if the money makes sense for them, they will make it happen. This is why we got the Joker too, and that was a big flop. But that's the reason why we got the Joker 2 is because the first one made $1 billion when they didn't expect it. But now they see the writing on the wall. We have a popular Superman and a popular Batman. Batman made more money because Batman is more popular. You can find me all day. I'm a bigger Batman fan. But this movie can potentially make just as much. And if it does, now we have two of the biggest pillars in the DC universe making almost the same amount of money. They're not going to divide them up. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that they're gonna put him in the same on the same movie or not? But this is but to add on to this little piece of news, this is an incredible beginning for the DCU. I think the DCU is in a good place. It's a great start. Hopefully the second week drop is not as drastic as it could be. I don't see it happening because word of mouth is strong, social media presence, people are engaging with this IP, people are talking about this IP in a positive way. It's anything that's been negative about this movie has not been discussed, only for those little detractors. that didn't work out well for you guys, right? Anyway, so what I'm saying is, I think this movie is in a great position to make a lot of money. It's great, in a great position. It already positioned itself to be a great start for the DCU. I think we have many things to look forward to. The next thing is gonna be Peacemaker, which comes out in just weeks because it's 2 months from now, and then we're gonna have a movie with Kara, Supergirl, and I know that I did a little reaction video, guys. I remember I wanted to mention that at the beginning. I did a reaction video with that dude. What's the name? Tyrone Magnus. I had to take it down because that dude is a sensitive little guy, and I was told, hey, he's gonna strike your channel if he finds out that you did a reaction video. So like, okay, I don't want that. So I wasn't even disrespectful to the individual, but I didn't want to take any chances, so I deleted the video. But now going back to what I was saying about this universe, yes, we have Supergirl coming out. Supergirl is. I love seeing Millie Alcock acting like Supergirl. Like when I saw her, I was like, yes. They're cooking with this universe. She was just Kara from this comic book, which I still have it sitting here. Well, I haven't read it in a while, but it was there. It was in the living room anyway. So, but I think the DCU is in a good place. I want to show you something also that James Gunn shared with everybody after the movie has performed well. He said, I'm incredibly grateful for you and for your enthusiasm and kind words over the past few days. We had a lot of Super and Superman over the years, and I'm happy to have a movie that focuses on the man part of the equation. A kind person, always looking out for those in need. That's that resonates us that resonates so powerful with so many people across the world, and is in itself hopeful statement in kindness and quality of human being. Thank you. Yes, and kindness is the new punk rock. So yes, I actually I'm in love with this movie. I loved it far more than I expected. So hopefully you guys loved it as much. Let's talk about some of the things that I want to talk about it on this video. Also, here's the first image of another. Well, this is a behind the scenes image. I hope I don't get a strike because of this, because I think I shared an image on my Twitter account and I got a strike there too. The CMA takedown, I think that's what I call it. But anyway, so this is what she gonna look like, and it looks like she got some dirt. Man, do the Kryptonians do any laundry ever? But yeah, so this is her with the suit. I think the suit looks pretty good. I really like what she looks like. She embodies the character. Like if you read that comic books or anything about Kara, you know, she a bit of a hard ass. So I think that I think they picked the right person to play this character. So yeah, going back to this whole Superman reportedly $100 million mark. Listen, I'm sorry, I just do not believe that. I this is not me, because you guys know I'm very positive, optimistic about this DC universe and what James Gunn is forging ahead. But at the same time, I'm not gonna be just like a shill and take anything for just a face value. And I'm like, no, I don't think that's true. Just given the gargantuan marketing that they pulled, all that stuff that we've seen, all the from when they went to Manila, when they went to Brazil, when they went to England, that Superman statue at the top of, listen, and when they went to Dubai, all this stuff that this stuff is not cheap. And you cannot tell me that this entire marketing plus the commercials that we seen on TV, the stuff that you did on the Puppy Bowl, the stuff that you did on other events and sporting events and the NBA playoffs, all this synergy that you created with a lot of brands, also that stuff is not cheap. And for you to sit there and say that, yeah, this costs $100 million, like, I don't know, man. I call that BS. I think the marketing definitely was more close to the $200 million that was already reported. So I think they want to say, they put that narrative there because the movie already made its money back as far as the budget. Now if they go another week and make another $100 million, a week and a half and make another $100 million, they can easily say, well, we already make our money back, so everything is profit. I don't think that's what it is. The movie should be between 650 700 to make like a real, that's why that was the target from the beginning, because that will put the movie on a little bit of profit and makes their money back. Because I think the goal of this movie, everything was not relying on this movie. I think the Warner Brothers, David Zaslav, they made an investment in a bet on this universe as a whole, not just as a Superman movie. I think they invested on the IP itself. They invested on this movie. They invested on Peacemaker, Supergirl, the body horror, Clayface, and everything that's gonna come after that. So I don't think that there is they wanted to say, yes, we could see a little profit here and there, saying that $100 million was the marketing. So in essence, anything above $400 million will be considered profit. I don't think that's a little bit disingenuous in the part. I think it's gonna be the marketing was more close to the $200 million. So I think they need to start making anything above 5, 7, 5, 6, it's gonna be profit. So I think that's more, to me, sounds like more reasonable. And here's another little bit of news that Albert Valadares, Hispanic, or maybe Italian, I don't know. Albert Valadares served as the stunt performer for Ultraman. This is what he looks like under the suit. Spoiler alert, it's not him. It's just in case. That's not what he really looks like in the film. I haven't done a spoiler review because I did a live stream. I talked about it on the Vodka stream. Also, I'm invited to a podcast tonight, so I'm gonna talk about it. So I was like, I don't feel like I don't like to repeat myself too many times, but anyway, so the only reason why I didn't do a spoiler-free review. But if you want to know my feelings on the movie, I loved it. I think I said that from my spoiler-free review, and that's pretty much. I'm not gonna grade it. I don't like grading films. I think it's a weird thing when people do it, but to which his own. But yeah, so he worked on Batman, Superman, Zack Snyder Justice League, Army of the Dead, Rebel Moon Part 1 and 2. So I'm wondering who recommended this man to James Gunn. I wonder, right? So ReelOutReach, they had a GoFundMe a couple of weeks ago for kids in need so they can go and see Superman. And it looks like they achieved the goal. They were able to get a movie theater and bring kids to see the film. So shout out to them, because actually they had a great time. They shared that with us. And this is what it's all about. It's about hope, about bringing some joy into the world. And this is how I felt when I saw the movie. The first and second time at the end, still feel joyful whenever I hear the Iggy Pop song, which I couldn't. Like, this is one thing that James Gunn does, because I was never a Iggy Pop fan. All of a sudden I've been freaking singing that song all day long, so I don't know why. So it made me a fan of that song, or at least one of Iggy Pop songs. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is somebody was asking James Gunn on social media, because he was a little bit active this morning, giving thanks to the fans, interacting with the fans, without giving anything away. But somebody had asked him about, hey, when does Superman 2 comes out? And he said, define Superman 2. So I think he's working on something. It could be the Trinity, it could be World's Finest, it could be something else. But I don't think we're going to get a solo Superman again, at least not now. Like, I feel like we should get another Superman solo and see him fighting another villain, or like one of his main villains, because he has a huge list of villains. But I think they have a 10-year plan, and they don't need to hurry, but they want to make sure that they establish the Trinity in this universe. So it feels like the thing that makes the most sense is to have the Trinity being the next film that we see Superman in the cinemas. I think we're gonna get to see Superman again. I got a feeling that he's gonna show up on Peacemaker. For sure, he's gonna show up on Supergirl. I don't know if he's gonna make an appearance on Clayface. Clayface feels like it's gonna be a more intimate, smaller story about that character. So, but we're gonna see him again before we get a sequel, quote unquote, which could be the Trinity or World's Finest. Let me know what you guys think. Is it World's Finest, or is it gonna be the Trinity, or something entirely different? Leave me a comment in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, leave a comment. Until next time, never let your nerd die. Peace.